Hello, so welcome back to the channel. This is Conor. I'm the head boxing coach here at Bangkok Muay Thai and MMA. So when Canelo starts attacking, obviously he sees the ropes, knowing that he's going to be a sitting target. Today we're going to be working on a boxing study series. So this is episode 1 of study series. Okay guys, so the fighter we're going to be looking at today is Dmitry Bivol. And the fight we're going to be looking at is Bivol versus Canelo. Dmitry Bivol is a great fighter to start to study because his use of fundamentals is fantastic. His use of the jab, his use of footwork, and his discipline in the ring as well. So today's on episode 1 of study series. We're looking at Dmitry Bivol and his use of the fundamentals. Okay, so part 1 is the jab. Dmitry's use of the jab, he uses a mid-range jab and he uses it nice and long. So the first thing he does with a jab is that he keeps his left arm or his jab hand mid-range. He's never too close or he's never too long. It's always out mid-range, all right? He's consistently popping the jab, putting Canelo off his rhythm and just creating that distance from the let off the backhand. So as he's doing, he's consistently throwing the jab at mid-range and relax. So anytime then, when he wants Canelo to come in on an entry, he gives him space. How he gives him space is by just bringing his hand close to his head in a nice protective shell or defensive shell. So when he's finished the jab, he just brings his hands close to him.
Same tight guard that he had in front of Kovalev, like Manic said. So that jab will be effective, even if it's just touching those gloves.
And gives Canelo that entry. During the fight, 9 times out of 10, Canelo takes this entry. When he takes this entry, he goes a bit aggressive and doubles up on his combinations. So once he gets the range, he gives him that range, brings the hands close. Canelo usually takes the bait. What Bivol does very well is he steps away from the shot, taking Canelo's power away from him. And that's part 1, the jab. Part 2 is countering on the back foot. Bivol's very good at this. As he gives Canelo the range to come in, he knows Canelo's going to take that entry. Once Canelo gets very close to him, Bivol usually catches him on the counter on the back foot. So one of the counters he catches him on during the fight is the jab. So he's popping the jab at mid-range, controlling the distance. Canelo's in a high guard position. As soon as Bivol just wants him to enter, he brings his hands close. Nice close guard. As Canelo comes in, he catches him on that jab on the way in.
His punch count, so Canelo can't start off short. It's slow because...
So Canelo's actually walking onto the shot. And there's nothing worse than walking into a shot. All right, so I'll do it one more time. Bivol is creating distance, keeping the jab high, keeping Canelo at arm's length. Once he wants him to come in, it gives him the range or the distance to come in. Once Canelo takes that entry, it catches him on the counter. I would have loved to have seen him using more hooks on the back foot, more uppercuts, more crosses. But I can understand that Canelo is a very aggressive and dangerous fighter. So sometimes having a high guard and just moving off the shots is a very safe option for Bivol to take. So that's part 2, counter boxing. Okay, so part 3 is the discipline that Bivol shows during the fight. As Bivol has a 1.5 reach advantage, for instance, Nick has a bit more than me, there's no reason Nick needs to come into my range. If he comes into my range, he's giving me range to hit. What Bivol does very well here, once he puts Canelo on the back foot, stay in front of me, he's working the shots, he throws a 2-3 punch combination, and he throws it at arm's length, very long shots. When Canelo's here, stay back a bit. So when Canelo's here, he tries to entice him to come in the fight. So what Canelo's trying to do is to get Bivol to give up range. And once he gives up range, if Bivol was in this distance with Canelo, he's giving Canelo a chance to hit him back. But because he's so long, the chances are very little for Canelo. Canelo's going to have to come in on an entry.
Oh, look at Bivol. Look at him go. Oh, my word, Bivol. And Canelo wants more of it.
So what he does, he calls him in. Bivol shows a lot of discipline by not taking the bait. Once Canelo starts attacking again, he goes back with his high guard and steps away from the shots. And obviously he can throw counters in as well. Okay, so that's what he showed very good at, or he showed discipline very well in that part. So as he's throwing at arm's length, short. He stops the combo. Canelo tries to bait him in. He doesn't come in. So when Canelo attacks, he has a high guard. Don't counter, just take away and then move away. Boom. And resets and holds that mid-range. So that's part 3, discipline. Okay, so part 4 is footwork. What Bivol is very good at is using his range, and also when he's coming on the back foot, he never stays in the one position too long. He's not a sitting target ever. So for instance, when Canelo pushes him back onto the ropes and forces the entry, Canelo's forcing him onto the ropes. As he forces him onto the ropes, he's in that high guard position. When he throws, he takes the exit and moves off. Once he moves off, he goes back to the mid-range, takes center of the ring so he can use his distance and starts popping the jab again. Always at arm's length, mid-range.
According to CompuBox, Bivol has thrown 40 more punches than Alvarez so far.
So I'll show it one more time. Canelo's backing him up, forcing him onto the ropes. He's sitting with a high guard, he's taking the shots. Boom, boom, boom. And then he moves off. And then he goes back to his jab. Boom. Keeping him at arm's length. So that's part 4, footwork. So if you guys have any other fighters or any other fights that you would like to see broke down, or fights that you would like to study, just leave a like and comment below and we'll get back to you, and hopefully we can work on some of them.